smart one, and thank God for her, because without her, that poor schlub would just run his life into the ground. And that was the standard kind of thing. And it's been like that. And that's not the way that reality is. You know, raising a family is a team effort, right? Like, mothers are super important, but fathers are super important too. And you see a lot of kids that are being raised by single mothers. You've got, divorces at all-time highs. Generally, it's initiated by the female. Young men are not going to college. They're not graduating college. They're checking out of society. They're deciding that it's not worth it to try and find a girlfriend. Most kids nowadays, like, I don't know the numbers, but most kids have not gone on a date. There's not nearly as many young men and young women getting together that are dating. Gen Z is the least sexually active generation in a long time. You see abortion is at an all-time high. All of these things are directly downstream from feminism and the massive influence that the left and feminist ideas have on society. The idea that a woman can be the boss babe and the mother at the same time is a total lie. You cannot do both. You can do one or the other. Women are deciding that they want to go to school and have a career, and then when they hit their 30s, they're scrambling to try and find a man, but men have checked out, or they've already found, or they're going for younger girls that are looking for families and stuff. All male suicide is at an all-time high. Men are, like I said, they're checking out of society. They're deciding to anesthetize themselves with video games and pot. All these things are absolutely terrible for a society. And so the op-ed was kind of to outline this stuff, and now there's a bill that's in the House. It's in committee, I think, and it's to start the White House Council on Fathers and Sons. It's based on the framework that was created during the Obama administration, which was the White House Council on Women and Girls, and then it was changed during the Biden administration, I believe. I forget what the Biden administration called it, but it was something very gender neutral. And so there is a framework there. So hopefully we can get this passed and have the White House actually talk about this, because this is a crisis that is a big deal for society. I mean, suicide among men my age, 50 and above, the rates are up. Men have to have meaning. Men need something to do. The idea that men can go to therapy and that's going to solve their problems is ridiculous. Therapy is for women. Men don't solve their problems by talking. Men solve their problems through action. So men should be doing things with other men, right? Like building things, going out and fixing cars, whatever it is. But those kind of activities are what will help a man feel accomplished, help a man feel like he's got purpose. Just going and talking to a therapist, that's not what fixes men. That's not what fixes men at all. Men need goals that are achievable, and they need to make progress to those goals. That kind of stuff is what will help a man feel empowered, feel good about himself. That's the kind of stuff that men need. And the idea that, all of society is telling men, oh, you should be more like women, or you should go to therapy. None of these things help men.
Okay, so I've heard enough at this point. Okay, so a man is going through a crisis, lack of meaning. They're checking out of society. They're not going to school. Young guys are not dating. They're not socializing. They're checking out. Men his age, 50 and over. Phil is 50. I don't really see that. He looks to be more maybe late 40s. And I will admit, Phil does look very attractive when he was young, but he doesn't look too bad now. He doesn't seem like the type of, he does not look like a leather face, let's say like James Hetfield when he was going through the alcoholic phase. So you have divorce, you have men that have all of these fucking issues, and therapy is meant for women, not for guys, because guys are more action oriented. Look, I've heard enough. I've heard enough of this fucking stuff, okay? If men are to accomplish something and they want to have goals and have meaning in their life, well, how do you go out and solve a problem? How do you at least try to jumpstart something? You have to acknowledge that there's a problem, and sometimes talking might just help. Now, I'm not saying that that has to be like that all the fucking time. But some guys could benefit from talking to a therapist. And even if it doesn't work out, why wouldn't it be therapeutic for a man to be talking with his buddies or amongst other guys? Because how many times have we fucking heard that men do not have support systems or any spaces where they could get that security for them to open up? Because I always had such an unrealistic view of men when I was young, because I did not have a good, healthy male role model in my life. Trust me, I did not. My dad was a type of man. I remember we were in therapy. We were in family therapy. And trust me, I've been in therapy most of my fucking life. I was in and out. But that didn't mean I couldn't do my own work. I did do the fucking legwork. It's just, you know how many fucking therapists are like fucking bullshit? Not every person you gotta talk to with, with a license in psychology is actually that great, you know? Just because you got a D or an R or libtard or fucking conservative at the end of your fucking name doesn't mean you're a great politician, you know? Have you actually met people that are business owners and are not that great at running a business? It's a little bit more complex and nuanced than simply just making it a blanket statement. I understand this is an interview, but to make it sound like men are a monolith and it's like an absolute thing, I have to fucking disagree with. So, my dad was not a very good male role model, and me personally, the guy did not respect women. He did not. Oh, I respect women enough that I wouldn't lay my hands on them. Yeah, fucking right, dude. Okay, so that's the fucking guy who used the belt and the wooden spoon to discipline me because I was out of line. But I'm still your daughter, my friend. Oh, yeah, you know. Number of times you cheated on my mom, and on top of it, not only did you betray her, but what is your view about us as your daughters? I mean, you're doing all this shit, you're cheating on my mom, and, how you gotta explain that to your daughters who are not gonna be babies anymore, My sister was the first person between the both of us to say, I'm going no contact with this man. Because his priorities were thinking with his penis, not necessarily thinking with his head. Oh, but wait. Men are logical. Okay? The one brain up there and the legend are two separate things, but sometimes guys cannot override the other head down there, right? So, whenever I hear this shit, I remember seeing my dad crying. And I did not think of him as less masculine, okay? This guy is more of the creative type, and, I find it kind of ironic. He would he would be in no position to give me advice, relationship advice. Bruh, you cheated on my mom more than once. You had numerous affairs. Now, one of them was a best friend's wife, by the way. That I love bringing up because I just can't stop laughing at it. And, that time he told me I was looking a little husky, at the time I was taking medication when I was living with him, and that didn't last very long with the medication. Oh yeah, mate, you're looking a little husky. Yeah, says the guy that never stepped foot into a fucking gym, and you're telling me you're worried about my health. Oh, that's very ironic, Fucking bullshit. But all this to say, when I would see this man fucking cry, I didn't see him as less masculine. I saw the humanity and the pain that this guy was going through. And he did go to therapy. You know, did it work out? Did you not take action from hearing from another person's perspective, right? Um, I'm able to hold the opinion that therapy could help, but some of it could be bullshit at the same time, depending on who it is you get. But if all you have is all this clutter in your fucking mind, how are the actions and reaching those goals going to be very healthily streamlined if, let's say, you may not be able to talk to somebody, even if it's not a fucking therapist? Like, how are you able to just let it all out? You know? I know for women, and if you guys saw my video from yesterday, when a woman suppresses her anger, it's gonna have a negative effect on her physically. She's gonna get autoimmune diseases. And what's gonna happen with men? Well, it's not gonna be very good now, is it? Especially if they don't have a healthy outlet. Yes, it's great to do all this action, but how many for me personally, it's not just about taking action. It's about the practicality behind the actions. Like, yes, I acknowledge I have a fucking problem, and I need to see results. I have a goal and I want to achieve it. But if you're just going to put goals and you're not able to filter through the fucking bullshit, even if you're not going to talk to a therapist or at the very least talk to somebody, then you're just wasting time, I find. That's just me personally. I'm not in the mind of a dude, but to simply say that therapy is for women, it's like, wait a minute. Therapy is not only for women. I'd like to think because men don't have the support system, maybe a bit of therapy could fucking help. I don't know, but that doesn't take away the fact that you still can't do things. Like, you still can't try to solve the problem and take action. Like, why is that such? I find that so fucking weird. That is just weird, and even the idea of toxic masculinity, I find that cringe too. I would think a healthy dose of masculinity would be, yeah, I'm having these problems. I really don't like where I'm at with my life. I think it's fucking bullshit. I want to take action. I don't see the issue in talking to somebody about this. Dude, I've met a few guys in my life that have gone to therapy, and it's not just my old man. And by the way, just so we're clear on this, I basically cut the cord with that guy last year when I made the decision of emotionally and mentally releasing all of that baggage that I've been holding for 8 years, because my dad did me dirty. My dad did me wrong, and I'm sorry, but, when you disrespect me as a person, as a woman, as a daughter, there's no going back. I gave you a second chance, you blew it, you picked your girlfriend over me, and, yeah, right? But when I hear this, I think it's fucking weird. Oh, yeah, and the reason why I brought this man up, I'll tell you why. Okay, I escaped right into my fucking side quest here. I had such an unhealthy view of men when I was young. And my dad not being a good, healthy, masculine figure in my life led me to believe growing up that men cannot feel pain. Okay? Anything physical, because they're strong, they could fucking take it. Emotionally, they could fucking take it. They don't get hurt. They're a little bit more secure within themselves and more confident that even if you throw an insult their way, nothing's gonna happen, right? That is so unrealistic. I walked around with that notion in my head, completely unrealistic. Meanwhile, getting bullied from the man that I guess in a way made me think that. Like, I've never seen my dad cry until later on in life. But that doesn't mean like I'm excusing him for all the bullshit that he's done. It's just like, well, men have humanity in them. But to hear this bit of information is like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Some guys cringe over the idea of therapy, and it's like, okay, I get it, but like, why do you cringe over that? How come you're going to cringe over the idea of therapy, but when you're talking with your buddies over there, is that not therapeutic? I mean, it's free, free labor. I understand that. Men don't have spaces where they could talk to other men, and this is what people tell me, and let me tell you, there's a lot of things that men fucking complain about, especially as you get older. Oh, I'm in pain, and this and that, and, stuff like that. I hear it all the time when I go to martial arts. But I don't like this bit of advice to say that therapy is only for women. Like, you could just talk it out. Like, yeah, there is some truth to that, depending on the severity of the situation, but I'm fucking sorry. Part of this, I find it to be very cringe. Maybe this is just me because I have a different perspective, but sorry, Phil, if simply just putting meaning in your life without having to process all that filter prior to applying the strategy in order to reach those goals, I find it to be bunk. Do you need a therapist? Not always. But is it going to kill you to go see a therapist every so often? Not really. Unless what the therapist is saying is fucking bullshit, then sure, then you can make that argument. But to just simply say, and I'm saying this as a woman, that therapy is for women, it's like, no, dude. Listen, even us women, we need, it's the same thing. Like, everybody wants to turn around and say, oh, men and women are different. Yes, douchebags, we know that. Tell me something I don't fucking know. Like, in the 3 decades of me existing, and over 20 years of having a goddamn period, I know that men and women are different. Bruh, tell me something less mystifying about the human species that I don't know about, okay? I like to say that men and women are more alike, but we are different in terms of our approaches. Oh, men don't cry? Well, men may not cry at the same frequency as women, but in terms of them being emotional, yeah, men can get fucking emotional. And when shit tends to hit the fan, when you get to the point of hurting yourself or committing seppuku, or you have that violent reaction to the point where you're going to be popping one up on society, well, maybe it's just not a good idea that we ignore the problems that men are facing. Because here they are, they're telling you about it. And yeah, what we want to do, we're creatures of action. Bruh, women are creatures of action too. You have no fucking clue at how annoying it is that I'm surrounded by a lot of people that are just talkers and they don't do anything. It's already bad enough that we have politicians that fucking do that. Like, is there any person that is aligned with what it is that they're saying, let alone what it is that they're gonna fucking do? Whenever I set a goal, I don't usually tell people because I just want to... That's just how I am as a person. That's not a masculine thing. Me personally, that's just how I am. But what Phil is saying, I just fucking rejected. Like, I saw this thing going around online on Loser Book, and I said, fuck this. Let me look for, let me get some video evidence, something, and I found it. I just fucking reject this shit, okay? Let me guys know what you think in the chat. Peace out.